The multiverse we exist within is incomprehensible by design and direction of its flow, controversial yet measurable. The beginnings of our dimension, or rather, our universe, dates back trillions of years, and this ancient abyss of wonder has been a major influence on humanity for millennia, and will continue to do so for ages to come. Humanity is complex and expansive, just like the multiverse, and it is time for humanity to conquest and adventure out into space, far away from our web of meteors and satellites and debris destined to fall upon this planet. We have gone out to space for minor studies and general findings, and many of us wish to push forward with the exploration. To some, however, many disagree for a variety of reasons, some of which are based upon foolish gut notions, or other reasons are more practical of a concern, like the idea of warfare. As we all know, the creation, use, and storing of nuclear weapons is a concern everyone in the world seems to fret over. Every country busts out their measuring tape to compare nuclear silo sizes and makes a huge fuss over who has more guns. And despite the ridicule, recommendations, and guidance from more mature members of all countries, the children like to play with their collectibles and use it as a means to establish a hierarchy of power. And where exactly does that lead us? Sky high to kingdom come. However, the concern in all this is what will happen once countries begin to enter space. It probably is an easy bet to say that regardless of actions, treaties, and other global situations being remedied or not, there will be war in space. Which doesn't exactly paint a pretty picture. However, in the end, I believe that we have two options. Stay here and be blown up off the face of the earth while dealing with all the current issues in the world and what's to come, or get somewhere outside of the earth and try to accomplish something out there before getting blown up. Either way, might as well make the most of it, in my opinion. Perhaps we can even discover something more promising out there. Space is incredible and something that every nerd dreams of being a part of. And most of us are pretty annoyed that the Jetsons world never came true by now. We could have been colonizing on the moon by now, or more. Luckily, though, the government has begun a small part of the process to have some ground rules. According to the United Nations Outer Space Treaty, a framework for international space law has been described with the following guidelines. The exploration and use of outer space shall be carried out for the benefit and in the interests of all countries, and shall be the province of all mankind. Outer space shall be free for exploration and use by all states. Outer space is not subject to national appropriation by claim of sovereignty, by use of occupation, or by any other means. States shall not place nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction in orbit or on celestial bodies, or station them in outer space in any other manner. The moon and other celestial bodies shall be used exclusively for peaceful purposes. Astronauts shall be regarded as the envoys of mankind. States shall be responsible for national space activities, whether carried out by governmental or non-governmental activities. States shall be liable for damage caused by their space objects, and states shall avoid harmful contamination of space and celestial bodies. These guidelines are a bit rough and vague, however. It is a nice start for what is to come in space. Note, however, the remark about banning nuclear weapons into space. China recently destroyed one of their own aging satellites via missile, without any warning to any other nation, causing a government upset over the lack of communication. Both China and Russia are regarded as the biggest threat in the space arms war. Hopefully, there will never be a true case or cause for space war, even if it is unavoidable in our unutopian world. I personally would rather not have the only reason to go to space be based upon the Earth being destroyed. Space should be adventured into while our species is still in a current technological advancement. Outer space is an incomprehensible fantasy land that is far beyond our true understanding. And while we thrive in a multiverse on a lonely rock full of chaos, the multiverse continues living and breathing, and humanity should be a part of it, regardless of country-based affairs. In the words of General Lance Lord, head of U.S. Air Force Space Command, space superiority is not our birthright, but it is our destiny. Space superiority is our day-to-day mission. Space supremacy is our vision for the future.